Hi, my name's Sandy. I'm from a company called Live Tango, and I'm going to tell you another story about event-driven architecture. It's about a company called No Name. No Name was a startup. They had the usual crowd of hard workers, devs and ops, product sales and marketing, domain experts, and your CXO types. No Name had decided to use event-driven architecture because they heard it was a great fit to model behavior in a domain across organizational boundaries. Plus they heard at a conference. So the developers had an event story workshop with the domain experts to understand how the system should work. As they mapped out the events, they found a lot of natural partitions, consistency boundaries, and were able to find clear transactional scopes. So they started building microservices. They had a customer service, an order service, and a payment service. They were pretty coarse-grained, but that represented their business process and transactional requirement, so this was a good thing. These services would also emit events when interesting things happened, rather than talk to each other directly. The customer service would emit a customer-created event and a payment details added event. The order service would emit an order finalized event, and the payment service would emit a payment complete event. In order to avoid temporal coupling and remain autonomous, each service would communicate via a centralized event bus. Awesome, they'd done it. Event-driven architecture. Taking the events and the consistency boundaries and building autonomous microservices, they released their MVP and started attracting customers. There was much rejoicing. In the next sprint, product had an idea. They wanted to honour the early adopters and decided they would create a loyalty program. Quite a simple idea. This was just an experiment to see if customers responded well. So they added a new microservice, which would listen for the payment completed events and update their loyalty status. Easy, everything looked great. Little did they know, sales and marketing were so impressed with the system, they had organised a massive We Are Live promotion for the following week without telling anyone. Suddenly the traffic started flowing and everyone wanted to buy No Name stuff. The CFO was happy. A few hours later, something was strange. The loyalty service was unresponsive and customers were complaining they weren't seeing their right loyalty balance. However, they had put a high data retention policy in place on their event stream and they were able to provision a new deployment profile for the loyalty service. Obviously, customer demand for this small experiment meant we needed to increase its capacity, and we were able to do that without affecting other parts of the system. Once it was deployed, it was able to catch up on all the events it had missed and correctly apply the loyalty balances for each customer, and they were happy. So taking the lead from the domain experts, No Name was able to build a system which accurately modelled its domain. It was able to undertake experiments and scale services as needed, and although there were challenges, it could keep the system stable and the customers happy. With the new powers they had been given, now all of a sudden, need a BI dashboard, building a new mobile app backend, someone say data analytics, just derive what you need for the events coming out of the system. Plus, product can continue to ask for truly weird experiments if they want. And they'll get the results without affecting the stability of the system, and there was much rejoicing. Event-driven systems are not new, and like any other, they come with their share of trade-offs. You wouldn't choose to put this type of architecture in place purely for technical merit. The idea is that this type of architecture can model an entire organization from a behavioral perspective and model flows of events across organizational boundaries. And that's to support the needs now and in the future. Enable organizations to continue to innovate and evolve. Talk completed.
Sweet, that's awesome. He's actually got that as a function, talk completed here. It's amazing.